All right, you guys, welcome back to another listing agent interview with me today, Mr. Chris Mendoza. Appreciate you taking some time to jump on with us today.
Thank you. Thank you, Brandon.
Absolutely. So, where do you sell real estate? What market are you in?
I'm in the Miami, Florida area.
Tough
I work
market.
a little bit, very tough.
Very tough market. Lots of competition, certainly. How long have you been licensed, Chris?
A little over 3 months.
So you're brand new to this crazy, crazy business,
Mhm.
and you joined our program and quickly got three listings, right? And that's what I want to talk about. And now on our coaching call yesterday, we talked about those three listings a bit, but I want to talk about how you were able to secure those listings in just a second. But walk us through what led you to real estate when you got in, right? Because the real estate market's shifting, and I am very curious what led you to get into the business in the first place.
Well, I had actually gotten in 2004, 2008. I had to get out because I got into a mess and I wasn't able to get back until almost 15 years later. I got in because I was doing what I thought was a lot of similar work, but I'm not getting represented in the same way I thought I could get in this business. I was doing a lot of outbound sales, a lot of phone work, anyways, and that's kind of what led me to to you.
Got it. What kind of, and I am curious, what kind of outbound sales were you doing before?
I was doing a wholesale business development. I would basically talk to business owners, get them to use our product, our services, trust us to help them grow their business.
Yeah, makes sense. So when you got in, you knew kind of what you were getting into. You knew this was an outbound sales business from the get go. Is that right?
Oh yeah, I was even before I got licensed. I had probably watched a good, I don't know, close to 100 hours of you. I already knew. I knew.
So you were the one. You were the one watching all those videos. No, I'm just kidding. So you get in the business essentially 90 days ago. What were you trying to do to generate business from the get go that was working or maybe not working, and then we'll kind of unpack what the business looks like today.
I immediately knew I had to get onto the dialer. I knew my hand dialing skills was not going to be enough or fast enough for the amount of people I needed to get a hold of, and I knew I needed to put my head down for quite a bit of time. And I knew it was going to take time to get confidence because that was the biggest problem with starting. I didn't have confidence, even though I was good on the phone. I didn't have confidence in this business.
Yeah. And so when you first got started, Chris, what did that look like as far as your average day? How much prospecting were you doing? When you say you were sitting down and you weren't confident, walk me through what that looked like when you first got started.
Well, I still work full time. I still do it now, so I couldn't stop doing that. But your schedule attracted me right away because the people I work with are not even up at the time, that I could be making your calls or real estate calls, and so I would do the same thing. I totally subscribe to. I get up at 5 in the morning, do the exercise, put yourself through, pain, and then be mentally ready to get on the phone for another 3 hours.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that's all it is, but usually it's more.
Yeah. So let's just fast forward, right, and kind of talk about the three listings that you got. When did you secure those? Did you get one a month? When did you join our program, and how quickly were you able to secure the three new listings?
Okay, I joined at the last days of July. Really is when I had my license and I joined. So by the first, I'll say less than 7 days into August, I was already on the dialer. I got my first listing September 16. I got the second one in October, and then I got another one a week after that. And the third one was funny because I got it just because I, the value of the group is so good. One of the things that kept running into was I kept running out of people to call, or at least that's what I thought. And so I'm moving to another territory. So I decided, okay, I'm just going to call that part two. I'm going to call that coast and this coast, and just at least I'm going to practice in my environment. So that's how I got the third one, calling somewhere else, practicing
Yeah.
somewhere else.
Yeah, it makes sense. So you were able to get your first three listings out of the way within what, the first 30 days or so, 30,
90
45
days.
days? 90,
Yeah.
90 days. 90 days. Got it.
The first,
So
yeah.
so what sources of business, where did they come from? Were they expireds? Were they for sale by owners, circle prospecting? Where'd you get them?
The first one wasn't expired, and the last two were for sale by owners. But I had
Okay.
been trying for sale by owners so much longer than for expired. And the expired, I was just doing your homework, and it just came because
Yeah.
those people don't even answer. I mean,
It's tough. It's tough to get them on the phone, right? So let's kind of break down what the day looks like today, and then we'll get into maybe some conversion tactics that you're finding that are useful on the phone for people. So what time do you typically start prospecting every day?
As early as legally allowed at 8 in the morning.
8 a.m. All right. So you start at 8 a.m. and then you go up until what time?
11, then I'll go again like at 5:30 and try to trap people in their car.
Yeah, got it. Okay, so you go 8 to 11. And so how many conversations typically will that yield in a couple hours of prospecting for you?
If I add like absentees and the other non-traditionals, then yeah, I can get to the 30 or 40. But just for sale by owner expired and drumming that I can stay around 20 easily.
Okay. All right. So you're doing 20, 30 conversations per day.
Yep.
And of that, so you're doing 150, call it 160 conversations a week. Let's unpack that for a second. So of those, that many conversations, how many leads does that typically generate for yourself to put into the database? And then we'll talk about appointments in just a second. So how many leads are you typically getting on a daily or weekly basis?
At the beginning, I had the bad definition of a lead, like a lot. And then,
Everybody was a lead in the beginning, right? If they had a
yeah,
pulse, they were a lead.
I was almost email phishing. And so I stopped that. I started going for the no more. And then I stopped, almost like I turned off the faucet again, like with 2.0. And so now it's less, but I think they're just better. Like I know what I'm looking for. I'm not just trying to get numbers anymore. So
Can you
yeah,
can you
better
just
discretion.
yeah, well, can you just for the audience that maybe doesn't know what you're talking about, you and I know what you're talking about. Certainly we work on it, but for the audience that doesn't understand, walk us through what that means. What was happening before when you were prospecting and you were probably adding too many people, and then what does that look like now?
I mean, to be honest, they can almost get confused the same. I mean, you feel like you have a great call, everything goes well, you get off the phone, but nothing ends well. And so I had to almost disqualify and make sure I wasn't wasting my time with people, make sure they were really, 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 really serious because I had already gone through a listing. I knew everything that it took to get that and or takes to get that. And I didn't want to just do it again for nothing. And so I really wanted to make sure I had someone who wanted to sell. That's what I do every day now.
Yeah.
I'm almost anybody else on the line listening to me be like, shut up, shut up, shut up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I might just push them away, but I don't want someone who doesn't want to sell. So
Yeah, and it makes total sense. We talk about it all the time, Chris. So what you're doing is you're gently pushing away the prospect, and the ones who push back are the real leads, and the ones that don't push back, well, now you know it was
yeah,
never a lead at all. Is that right?
absolutely. Yeah, they definitely stick out, the ones that want it.
Absolutely. They definitely stick out. So how many of those are you able to get? If you have 30 conversations or 150 conversations in a week, how many real seller leads are you able to generate on a weekly basis?
I'm still happy if I only get 10%. It's hard
Yeah.
to get more than 10 to 15%.
Yeah.
If I do, then I'm starting to think, oh, did you disqualify them enough? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you might be wasting your time again. So
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 you're
I
getting 10 or 15 highly qualified seller leads that you're adding to the database a week, correct?
yep, that's the
Per
goal.
week. Got it.
Yeah.
And typically what happens is I would assume you get most of your appointments out of your lead follow-up efforts, not out of your lead generation. And if that is true, how many appointments are you typically getting on a weekly basis?
Well, as of late, to be honest, I'm not getting that much from follow up. All of those were actually very quickly. The expire was on the spot.
Yep.
The second for sale by owner was the same day I got an appointment and the same day I got a listing. The third one was a come list me. That one did go through 3 or 4 days of follow up, a lot of follow up because I knew everyone was gonna be after her because that was a tough time. A storm just went through there and
Yeah.
everyone was looking for listings, so I knew I had to be on top of that one.
Well, and that's why these lead sources have the value that they do, right? Because the conversion cycle on them is so short. Unlike
Yeah.
anything else out there in the marketplace that might take 6, 9, 12 months to convert, or for sell by owner and expired, to your point, you can call them today, set the appointment today, go see them today, take the listing today, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, I love it. All right, so in the afternoon, that's when you would go on appointments, do some administrative, and if you don't, it sounds like you go right back to prospecting and generating leads and appointments. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, yeah. I've even taken it to another level. So you all of you. I mean, whoever's listening to this and has the service, you should be able to get those early in the afternoon. You should also just be able to do click and just you should know how to just press search and see who's expired in your area. And if you want them bad enough, you're gonna hunt them down. You're gonna skip them, whatever it is it takes to get them on the phone before anybody else does.
Yeah,
So
yeah, exactly right.
I'm intercepting even my own data source. So
Absolutely, you have to. You have to, right? I mean, you have to. So, um, Chris, let's kind of shift and talk about sales skills for a minute. So it's one thing because we know that it takes a strong mindset, it takes a lot of action doing the work and skills. Like this is what we call the success triangle. So let's talk about skills for a second. Maybe can you kind of walk us through what you're saying to these people, the approach you take on the telephone that allows you to generate appointments, that allows you to generate leads that you find the most useful lately?
lately, this comes from the Iceman, Mr. Zimmer. Kind of acting a little bit lost, a little bit curious, adding the curiosity really, I mean, not even getting to the meat of it until you've interrupted that pattern and they're almost like, okay, okay, almost like where they're inviting you back into the conversation and then going into it because they're expecting everybody to kind of just vomit their sales pitch at the beginning. And so I try to stay away from that. Our market's really, really tough. I mean, they know you're calling. So one of the things I'm really good at is just being the first voice. I have Zillow maps drawn in my territory. I'm literally the first voice. I even see it. I'm calling before there's views. So
I
I'm
mean,
on
that's
top of it.
massive. I mean, the difference between being the first voice and anything after that, can you help the audience that may be new to sales, new to prospecting, understand the importance?
Yeah.
Like here's what I'm asking. Just help the audience understand what a conversation feels like when you're the first voice versus the second or the 50th or whatever, how different that is.
Yeah, when you're the first voice, just about anything you say kind of works.
That's right.
You can get away with everything there.
Yeah.
When you're the third or fourth voice, especially on an expired, they don't want to hear anything you say. It doesn't matter. I've even told them, yes, I have the buyer. It doesn't matter. Some people they just won't want to hear you at that point. They have a mental block. So
Yeah,
they're
it's
not.
like I want to give you $1 million for the house that's worth 300. Oh, I don't care. I don't want. It's just total resistance. It's just I don't want to hear it. Right there, it doesn't matter what you say. So the importance of that is absolutely critical. So outside of being the first voice, so you get them on the phone, Chris. Is there scripts that you find are helpful? Certainly, the tonality of being more curious, less enthusiastic has certainly helped you a lot. Because the amateur, right, calls, hey, this is Chris Mendoza with Billy Bob's. Like, that's not working. So you've learned to struggle a bit, to be more curious, to have that type of tonality. Is there anything outside of that that you find is really helping?
Um,
Scripts or questions that help you
the,
generate
the
opportunities?
Yeah, the if then statements are fantastic. Anytime you want to get an idea across without seeming as pushy or intrusive, I think that's perfect. Because I'm used to coaching, my businesses or my
Sure.
customers as a business, and so it's different with these guys, with the for sale by owners. Like you can't tell them what to do so early in the relationship, and so the if then statement is critical there, where you can get an idea across without telling them what to do.
Can you give us
So
an example of one that you use that you like to go to?
sure, sure. If everything in your neighborhood is selling 13, 19 days, month, month to sale, month to closing, all these are normal. I'm sure you're going to do it just fine on your own. If some time goes by and you're just not getting the offers you're looking for, at that point, would you be at least open to considering other options? I mean, at least a second opinion.
Perfect. I love it. And you're finding, I would imagine, that a lot of people are open to that because it's hypothetical, right? It doesn't come across threatening. There's no reason for them to defend that because you've pushed it out into the future, correct?
Yeah. Plus, it goes back to what you were saying. If they're not even open to that, then they're not a sane seller. I mean, why am I wasting my time on this person?
100%.
You
100%.
can call them back 2 and 3 times and confirm that they're still not a sane seller. So I mean, that's another tactic. I use different numbers. I mean, that's more of a technical thing, but
Right.
you know,
Yeah. So walk me through kind of what the future looks like for you. I mean, you've been in you just are getting started, right? And so I would imagine just like anything else, like anybody else, you probably have some big ambitions, some big goals, some big dreams on what you're looking to accomplish. Knowing what you know now, being in this business for 90 days, tell me what the future looks like for you, maybe 2023 and beyond.
Now I know I got to just keep my head down and keep doing what you told me to do yesterday. You confirmed some of my, suspicions on probate. That's something that I wanted to add as my, the main pillar, especially as a B2B side, because that's where I come from. I've been in court plenty of times, so I have no shame being there. And so I think those are the things I want to do next. I want to bring my problem solving skills to real estate and not be so commoditized like you're teaching us. And so come into a listing presentation with more than just a listing as an option.
So really
So,
niche down, and so
yeah.
now you could start to be the perception of value goes way up, to your point, not be that commodity, because you're right. I mean, a lot of consumers feel as though every single real estate agent is the exact same, but when you start to really niche down, become an expert in probate or divorce or whatever, everything changes. So that is super. So you're going to add probate? Is that what you're going to do?
I want to do it on the lawyer side. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want the B2B
absolutely.
side.
Yeah, smart. Very cool. So if you could go back 90 days and get the license all over again, is there anything that you would maybe do differently that, or better yet, is there any advice you could give to a new real estate agent that is about to get licensed that would fast track their success?
Don't be afraid of making the calls. Make as many calls as you can. Practice everywhere that you can. There's no such thing as running out of people to call. There's just running out of places to call.
Yeah, just do the work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just do the
yeah,
work.
yeah,
There's definitely learning in the doing. I mean, I even had, pseudo confidence or false confidence because I'm okay. I'm good on the phone. I actually like being on the phone. The part I dislike most now is the periods of silence. That's why, I started calling everywhere because I would hate being on the phone and nobody answers. And so I guess, just be curious, really, not just for the script.
yeah.
So,
The more genuinely curious you can be, it comes across as such, and then the prospect starts to open up more. That's what you're finding, yeah?
yep,
I love it.
definitely.
Simple, do the work, pick up the phone. Chris, we appreciate you jumping on with us today, spending a few minutes, dropping some nuggets. Wish you the best of luck throughout 2022 and beyond. I appreciate you very much.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you,
All right,
guys.
brother. Talk to you
Have
soon.
a good day.
Bye bye.
Take care.